Hey everyone, welcome back to Home Ericanomics. I'm your instructor, Erica, and I know it's been a minute since I've seen you all, but we are back and class is in session. So today we're going to be making some good old chocolate chip cookies. And so actually, I went and got Mrs. Fields' cookbook so we can make her recipe. So if you're anything like myself, back in the day at the shopping malls, you had to go by the Mrs. Fields cookie stand because she has the best cookies of all time. So let's see if we can recreate some of that magic today. All right, put your aprons on and let's get started. Now that your apron's on and we need to get started, let's first dive into a little bit of history around Mrs. Fields. Mrs. Fields got her start in the late 1970s, where she obtained a $50,000 loan and opened up Mrs. Fields Chocolate Chippery in Palo Alto, California. Business was slow at first, so she took matters into her own hands, where she went around giving free cookie samples, and the rest was history. Over the next decade, Mrs. Fields cookies began expanding across the country, with 78% of her stores being in shopping malls. In 1993, with over 780 stores, Mrs. Fields sold the brand to an investment company for $100 million. That amount in today's dollars is more than double, and it all started with a dream and a chocolate chip cookie. To begin, we're first going to start with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So with that, we're going to take our salt and our baking soda, and we're going to dump that in. So this is about a half teaspoon of baking soda and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to take that and give it a nice whisk. Like so. And then we're going to set it aside. Now for our next step, we're going to take about 1 cup of dark brown sugar, 1 cup of regular granulated sugar. Actually, that's a 1/2 cup. Let me correct myself. And then we're going to take 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and we're going to cream this together. Going to move over to our handy dandy KitchenAid mixer. Add our paddle attachment. And then we're going to cream this together until it forms like a grainy paste. All right, so now we're going to get a spatula and we're going to scrape down some of this off the paddle and then the sides of the bowl because we need to go ahead and add our 2 eggs, which I'm going to crack those in the bowl. Make sure we don't get any shells. So we're going to do 2 eggs, and of course, I still end up with a shell. Let's get a spoon and get that out. Perfect. And this is why we crack eggs in a separate bowl. So we're going to add in those 2 eggs, and then also we'll do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We got 1 and 2 and a little bit that drip down the side. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape that off and begin mixing. And we want to let this mix until it becomes light and fluffy. Alrighty, so now our mixture is light and fluffy. So we're going to take that flour and baking soda and salt, and we're going to do about a half at a time just to make sure it mixes well and helps to prevent from a bunch of flour splattering everywhere. Add in the rest. Then we're also going to add in our chocolate chips. But once this flour is all mixed together, I'm actually going to take some of the cookie dough out because I honestly prefer my cookies without chocolate chips. And some people say, well, that's just a sugar cookie. It's not, because a chocolate chip cookie has a different dough than a sugar cookie does. And I just prefer chocolate chip dough without chocolate chips. I know there's got to be more people out there like that. It's not just me. But chocolate chips sometimes just overwhelm it. And I just want that, I don't know, regular cookie flavor. Our dough is looking fabulous. So let's go ahead and scoop just a little bit out so I can make my chocolate chipless cookies. Just a few. That should be good. And then chocolate chips. Let's grab those. I got them semi-sweet mini morsels. So once again, I don't want anything like too sweet. And I think the mini morsels are less offensive to me in terms of chocolatiness. And I'm only going to add just a little bit. The recipe calls for like 2 cups. I think that's intense. So let's scrape off our spatula. And then mix it on low. Low-ish. Great. Let's take that, scrape down our blade, and mix in whatever little bit of flour was straggling behind. Okay, Mrs. Fields says now we need to do rounded tablespoons of the cookie dough. Now, I don't know if this is like something I can mold in my hand. It seems a little sticky, so I'm just gonna do like she says and not touch it. She said about 2 inches apart. So these might be a little bigger than what they should be. I'm also baking these on a silicone mat. I used to bake sugar cookies a lot, and I found that this was an incredible way of making sure that the cookies didn't get too dark on the bottom. But hers just says on a grease cookie sheet. Okay, I'm only going to do like 8. So now we're going to bake these in the oven on 300 degrees for about 22 to 24 minutes. So I will see you back in a little under a half hour. Here is the moment of truth. The cookies are ready. They're still slightly warm. Ooh, they break apart really nicely. And let's taste test. These are good. Okay, fun fact. I've never successfully made chocolate chip cookies. I have been trying for years. My sister-in-law gave me a lesson and I screw them up every time, but not this time. See, I knew Mrs. Fields. I knew this lady was going to come through for me, okay? These are so tasty. Mm. And I still haven't baked the ones without the chocolate chips. So definitely give these a try. Her cookbook can be found pretty much anywhere. I got mine off eBay. I mean, it was issued like probably 20, 30 years ago, but you know, it's a tried and true recipe. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you learned a little something, or now you're a little bit inspired to make some Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookies because it's a little bit nostalgic. I'm going to go eat more cookies. I'll see you next time. Class dismissed. We're so good.